annoying because I can't seem to stream to this. I'll see if I can stream from my Spotify app. Because I would like to listen to the trees. Because I really like the trees. But you can't because copyright. So, see what we can do, eh? I don't know. The trees. And I've paused this. I can't even put a couple of seconds up because obviously. Annoying. Hi, sorry, I'm just getting stuff done. And you're probably hearing a very non-SMR enjoyable sound of me scoffing things. I do apologise, but what can I say? I've got sweets. Hello, by the way. Yum. I'm just getting some music for myself. Oh, here we are. There we go. Right, so I need my study display. It should beep in a second. Hopefully. Happening. Work out roughly where the fuck I am. Here we are. I never noticed this isn't playing. That's my grave annoyance. I'll try again. Please connect. I want to listen to some music. Amazing. I can literally hear it coming from the kitchen, but not from in here. Fuck it. Pardon my French, but I'm sick to death of trying. So let me see. I'm going to quickly put on some jazz, which is, YouTube. There should be a YouTube, copyright free jazz, and then all you people in the channel can go, oh, it's horrible. Oh, yeah. There we go. I'll reduce it a little bit. Right. Any questions? Whatever. You get the point. I'm going to fucking eat my way to all these sweets because they are delicious. Right. So, you're probably like, oh, this looks weird. What's this shit? But, what this is the world partitioning system at work. So, I'm going to get the entire cottage, which will appear here, and I'm going to rebuild it. Crazy, huh? I want to look at my various things here. Looks like I've been buying stuff on eBay. I don't recall buying stuff on eBay, so I can only assume someone's using my eBay account upstairs in the house. There we go. Streaming, man. It's crazy. Wait a minute. By the way, this is really smooth compared to what I was doing. Come on. Some pop as well. Delicious. Okay, so I've got quite a lot of stuff here to kind of get rid of. So let's have a look at how I made this all that time ago and what needs to be got rid of, because this is pretty basic. Okay, and to be honest, it needs taken out and shot, really. This was very much a placeholder because I didn't really know what I was going to be putting here at the time. There we are. So what I'm doing is I'm basically disassembling it piece by piece. You can kind of see how it was made as I do this. There's various parts that have various jobs. I want to get rid of the crap around it as well. What's good is that originally I was going to change this in the first day because the game's days, not levels. But then I'm keeping the old one in the first day. So there's no explanation why it suddenly changes, and I like that. That makes me happy. I don't know why, it just does. But I have to keep all this stuff till, you know, it's gone. Now, another thing I've got to be careful of is I don't want to accidentally save my scene and exit out while I've still got visible items in my scene, because that causes a lot of problems when it comes to me loading up in the editor. Okay, so I'm using 5.1. It's not the bleeding edge release, but it is nonetheless relatively new, so yep, to all. See these are little groups of actors here, they're going as well. There's a lot of stuff here to get rid of. Okay, but it's all about making this a better experience for the player. So I'll probably break this down into like 3 rooms when I'm done. So get rid of all this, including this single light that's just sitting glowing in infinity. And yes, I am deleting stuff very slowly, but I want to make sure I do it properly. Bit of a shout out, by the way, to a poor student, Mike, who I was going to be teaching today. I had a very sore arm earlier today. So thank you for your patience, Mark. It's very grateful that you were able to move this session for me, so thank you. Anyway, let's get on with this. I'm just getting rid of all these lights. These are pretty inefficient old lights anyway, so them being gone is good. There we are. And slowly as we do this, I'm just going to click save. There's a save button with 77 unsaved here. There we go. These windows, bloody awful. And that. That. The loss of these is, well, I'll be able to do a better job with it gone, let's just say. Right. This. Fence. Blueprint. Okay. Right, so we've got navigation being built at the minute, which is going to slow things down a little bit. I'll probably turn that off if I have to. What I want to do at the minute is just go around this and basically get rid of parts that I'm not going to need. So things like these, for example, which I only put in really as temporary underneath parts. Some pop. Hello, Pancake Lord. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome aboard. Okay. Whatever you subscribed from. If you're talking and I can't see you, oh. You are the only one in this stream. Sorry, I'm just gonna turn on my chat monitor, otherwise I can't see shit. Not that it did much. I'm doing a Lighthouse Keeper's house. Sorry, I can't see the chat from you specifically very well. It's not your fault. It's just the way this program's set up. But I'm doing the Lighthouse Keeper's assistant's house. See, there's the main house over there. You can't see it because it's hidden at the minute. And this is where the assistant is. He has his own place. I thought it'd be nice, you know? Let's save. It's part of the video game. I needed a place really for Jack to be. And so this gives me a chance to make it and keep it in character with everything else. Because this was just a proxy from 2.5 years ago, and I've been meaning to adjust it since then. Right. Now I'm just going to pull out some actors that I need. I've got 4 screens, and this is only one of them. Let me have a look. Which one do I need? Big building, isn't it? See what we've got. It's quite nice, but a little bit ornate. I mean, it is tempting to make something highly ornate and bizarre, but will it work, you know? You see, there's 2 sides to this, and the inside is not actually. I'd need to remodel it, basically, is what I'm kind of saying badly here. So look over here at this one. Again, same for this. I would probably need to either rebuild this or set this to -1 or something. There we go. I mean, you can, but as you can see, it's going to be incredibly thick. Even if I was to like narrow it down a bit. Now, there is a possibility I could use something like on the inside, but what is the question? Maybe if I just drag this out, really flatten the living death out of it. And have this at -0.1. I mean, it's still not optimal exactly, is it? Pretty, but not optimal. This really does give me a chance to think. I'll be doing that a lot. Another option is I can go with the stuff the house is made out of course. Down here. But don't throw things away. I've got a lot of stuff in here. On the right bits. There. Okay. And I'll grab some static mat. Right, so there's quite a few decent pieces here. I can get one that works for me. Windows. You notice they've got an inside and an outside. It's helpful, although this house is going to be pretty small compared to what it was, so grandiose windows like this probably won't work. Decisions. Dude, this isn't the lighthouse. The lighthouse is over there. Oh, hang on, I'll show you. I'll just unhide it quickly, but then I'm putting it away again. This is a different part. Don't be fooled, this is all hidden geometry. There's like the big lighthouse house is back here. A minute. Stay long enough for this. There's the lighthouse itself. I've not loaded all the geometry in, but Oh. Lighthouse. Okay, this is just the lighthouse assistant's hut over here. There we go. Bye. There's a gold to use here. I mean, this would be more like a summer house, really. Well, everything has to be done somewhere. Let's do that. How much? Wow. Get rid of this book. For reasons. I'm gonna build around it. Yeah, I'm a game developer. I've been doing stuff like this for 20 odd years. Like I say, sorry I can't see your chat very well. It's just, whatever the reason, it's just appearing in a tiny box over on window 4. Yeah, we've been doing this a long time. This is like my personal project, though, this one. Everyone needs a personal project. I don't know that one. Yeah, at the minute I'm just kind of fishing for shapes. I always start off, I fish for a shape. Been doing this for a very, very, very long time. In the old days, I used to make the shapes out of BSPs, but now I get that faster, quicker, better. Right. One of these is just far, far too decorative. Nice, very, very decorative. Good. The best thing you can do is just do it. Seriously, just make one. You'll enjoy it. It's very, I don't know, it's a growing experience, you know. You enjoy it. This is the first time I've literally solo dev'd, but I love it. Most of the time I've been consulting for other companies or lead art or whatever. Now I'm doing this, and it's fun. You'll enjoy the freedom. You'll get stressed, but you'll enjoy it. See what I can find, because I'm sure I've got something here. I want to use the wrong lessons for this. That just make me sad. Doors, windows, all the looking walls, you know. loads and loads and loads and loads. Okay. Right. The high set window, the high set architectural wall, too high in my opinion. Double set windows, I can see which way this is going. Bottom gable trim. Oh, got it. Oh. Oh, that's good. The most important thing about doing that is just, you know, set yourself goals, set yourself boundaries, set yourself a good plan. A good plan pays dividends. Trust me, I've learned that so many times by doing things wrongly. No, get rid of these barrels. Really a little bit caught here because I'm trying to decide exactly what it is that I want to do with this. These walls here. Take it back, there's a wall. Okay. I rather like that. This could be the shape I'm looking for. It's all about finding a shape that you're comfortable with. You've got to think, it's called ergonomics, right? So, there you go, a bit of a treat for you. I normally charge quite a lot of money for these lessons. So, what it is, you've got to look at the shapes you're working with, okay? The human eye finds certain shapes pleasing, and it finds certain shapes that go together, kind of tell a story for you, and does a lot of your work. So, what I'm doing is, these straight edges here are going to be quite representative, you know? Now, I only want these big, bright windows on one side. The idea being that, you know, maybe I can have some light come through them over here, so that'll look really nice. Next, should be able to drag out a wall. How tall it is, that's perfect. I'll do that. I'm just turning this to 90 degrees and attaching. What about a modern house? Well, I can't go too modern because the game, this is an important thing, you know, when you set up your game development plan. My game is made, or based rather, in 1936. And so because of that, I have to make sure that all of the geometry and everything else that I use is correct for that period. I don't want it, you know, being unsuitable, because apart from anything, that's going to make me go crazy. I can't stand inaccuracy when I'm doing things. It makes me very, very sad. But also, you know, the general public will also notice, and they'll loudly tell you about what it is they've noticed. So what I'm doing is I'm just basically trying to keep this within the boundaries of what it is that I originally designed, and just come up with something that's going to work. And it will. It's just going to take a bit of time, because like I say, we have some rather nice industrial pieces on this island already. Okay, because this island's open world, it's like 8 kilometers square or something, just this one island here, and there are more than just one. And so what I'm doing is just making sure basically that everything goes together. Now see that nasty gap there? Do not like. So I'm going to change my snaps down to 1. Now that works, and it's off there as well, so I'll do it again. It's little things that will catch you out. Like I say, bear in mind, if you're on Twitch, if you jump on Twitch, I can probably see your chat a lot easier, to be fair. It's going to be a pain in the arse, though. You don't have to, don't worry. Okay, next I need the walls. So these are modular wall, so let's just Drag that across. I only want windows on one side because I think that'd be interesting. I like to try like new things architecturally and kind of see how they work out. Pretty cool about this as well is I can just resize them, and if you notice, it kind of works okay even being resized like that. So I need to turn off navigation. So edit, project settings, navig, auto create navigation data, should discard navigation data. I might just get rid of this navigation method. This one working because I think this is it. Yep, there it is there. Let's move it to there. As long as I'm not actually doing anything inside the nav mesh bounds now, which I won't be, that might cause a problem. Okay, now, look at this. Make sure that this is correct. And I'm probably going to sneeze at some point as well. That'll be fun for all of us, won't it? Yeah, there we go. Tiny cap. Let me get rid of. There. Okay. Hello, viewer 3. No, because it's on an island. Most lighthouses were on islands off the shore, so having a car is kind of pointless, unfortunately. If you think about it, I mean, it's a nice idea, don't get me wrong. But unfortunately, it's just not feasible. Because, sure, landowners would have bought their own cars over, but lighthouse keepers a lot of the time were kind of transient, which means that they wouldn't have necessarily been in the same place for a prolonged period of time. But bringing a car across would have been massively expensive. They were still pretty luxurious items, even in 1936. I mean, this is based in the United Kingdom, not America, so I've got to take that into account as well. Right, so there's the doorway there. That works okay for me. I like it. No real space here for any more windows, which is fine by me. So what I need here is some modular wall stuff. And what I'll do is I'll just put that there. A lot of fun things you can do with shapes, as long as you're patient. While we're doing it, tell you off the top of my head, one of the most important things you're going to need at managing a tool, managing a team rather, is some teamwork tools. It does, but that's deliberate. I want it to look like a factory until I'm finished, and then it's going to look like a house. So don't worry, it will make sense. It's just, unfortunately, some things take time. This is one of the things I've kind of learned over the years as a 3D artist is, you know, at first it's going to look wrong, and then eventually it'll look correct, but it takes a while for those two things to kind of happen, unfortunately. It's the nuisance. Fortunately, I kind of know which direction I'm going in, because the idea is this is a repurposed industrial building. You're completely correct. Get a bit of overlap here. And then here. This nice brick battening here, out there, and then over here. That works. Right. Over here I can see. There. Better. That works better for me. Okay, next. There we go. That's quite nice. Okay. Right, so now I'm going to have a look at this and try and decide what I think of the shape. I hate it. Okay, that didn't take too long. If you don't like something, if your brain says no, your brain means no. Yes, I already have NPCs in my game, lots of them. This game's actually a lot further on in development. This is just a side prop. The game's actually coming out in a couple of months. So this is just kind of polish work I'm doing at the minute. I just need to make sure that the parts that I'm using are right. Hang on a sec. Actually, no, I don't really have time to go down there at the minute. I've got to get this done all. Stop focusing. I've got to concentrate on this. Annoying. I do have. It's a bothiest thing. I might use the bothy, actually. Alright, why not? I'll use the bothy. I built it myself anyway, so. Be a chance to have a mess around, see if I can do something with the shape. Oh, hang on. The TIE Fighter. Good choice. That was a fun one, wasn't it? I enjoyed making that one. That was, oh god, 10 years ago, you're right. Now, I can't remember a bit more about that just for you. That's right, I'd started using keyshocks. I've always been very interested in real-time rendering techniques. And basically I got a chance to use Keyshot. And, well, Keyshot's great, to be honest. Well, it certainly was at the time anyway. I don't use it as much now, which is a shame, but, you know, things happen, people move on. And, yeah, I remember really enjoying that at the time. I had great fun making that TIE Fighter, because it was really an experiment to see how quickly you could put one together. And the answer is, with Keyshot, really bloody fast. Oh, that's not too bad. Sorry if I keep stretching over there to see what you're saying. It's like really quite difficult otherwise because I can't see anything. Right, I need to, because this is just going to be like a double bunk room place. I need to really look at how I'm going to build this. I was going one way and now I'm going in a completely different direction, which is typical for me. I think I'm probably going to need to reboot the text on the roof of this one as well at some point. Not to worry. There. Oh. That's pretty interesting, I like that. Put this here. Ah, who'd have thunk it? I'm actually getting some use out of this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Right. And by the way, thank you very much for dropping into the channel. It's lovely to see all of you. Especially, you know, a bit of a blast from my past there, from the old tutorial making days for 3ds Max. A lot of people complain that I don't do the old 3ds Max tutorials anymore. And to be honest, a lot of that is because Autodesk weren't supportive for a start, like at all. They've always really hated what I do. They're very, very discriminatory against anything that I produced, to the point where they literally like screwed me over so many times. And couple that with it's not as much fun as it used to be, if I'm perfectly honest with you. You know, using 3ds Max, I used to love it, and then eventually I just reached this point where it's like, but is it fun? The answer is no, it wasn't. And if you're not enjoying yourself anymore, even if you're making tutorials for people, it's just, what's the bloody point, you know? Doorway. I'll put another end on here. I think I'm going to hang this way out over the edge, because I like the idea that this is literally being supported over the edge here. Should make it much more precarious, which I think is great. Let's move that to there. Good God, 5 viewers on my stream now. Anyone would think this was popular. Funny, because obviously the chat's appearing in my little chat window, but I can't actually do much else. I might change the text to be a little bit bigger, actually, just so I can see it. There. Oh my God, that was so much easier. Read names and everything. Oh, there we are. Right, now I can actually see. Right, so I'll fix the actual underside of this shortly. Now, inside of my house, I want to separate this off into different areas using this. Because there needs to be an area that we can visit, the jack, but there also needs to be some areas that we can't get to. So, using these, we can set those. I'll put one here, I'll put another one here. Now this is probably going to be Jack's bedroom, so I'll put one there. I'll put one here. So he has like a welcome room and a little kitchen or whatever. And, oh dear me. There we go. It's a bit better, isn't it? I like that. We feel a bit happier. There's still a few like little creases and things, but I'll sort those out soon. Now the next thing I need to do is this. Now come up. Thanks, man. A lot of my thought process, to be quite honest with you, is it's like smash it and see. You know, it sounds a very primitive way of doing it, but I mean, even when I was working before I got into game development, like big time, even though I'd kind of always been into game development, before I went back to game development, let's just say, my processes were markedly different to what they are now. So I'm kind of talking a bit rubbishy there, aren't I? But what I'm trying to say is that I kind of came up with the whole ergonomic modeling slash kit bashing slash poly on poly methodology because it worked in 3ds Max and it gave fast results. What's really fascinating for me is that the same methodology can be used inside of Unreal Engine. Oh, I know, don't worry, that's fine. I'll fix that soon. At the minute, it's all about the shape, the basic shape, getting everything right. Okay, so don't worry about that. That becomes a distraction if you let it. Okay, my wife calls these pendulums. So we want to avoid pendulums. Now, part of the house should be going over the cliff, to be perfectly honest. There we are. Now, this is the basic architecture that makes up the shape. And I'm just going to bring it to... I need it in a convenient position. That's the most important thing for me, you see. That wall there and all the other parts, it needs to be in a convenient place. I think about there. And I'm going to see how far over the edge it goes, because I want it to go slightly over the edge, but not too much. That's important as well. Now, these parts here, these are not important. I'll explain for why in just a moment. But basically, I want the floor to be this nice polished wood. I've got some nice polished wood, so I'm going to use that. Okay, now for this, I'm going to bring up another content browsing window. There we go. And thank you for the questions, by the way. I'm very much enjoying them. And I'm liking having you here, so thank you. Okay, so assets. By the way, this is my assets folders. They're huge. Okay, because what I do is I put lots of things in, and then if I need them, I'll use them, and if I don't use them, well, I don't need them. So they're not rendered at runtime. It doesn't make any difference to me. Now what I'm looking for, there it is, there is floor, okay? And I can basically put that there. I need to get it down nice and low. This is a lovely little piece of geometry, this one. And I want to get it inside the boundaries of my house. So tell me, what's your game going to be about that you and your team are going to be working on? Because I am genuinely interested, and I'm also genuinely trying to be supportive of younger game developers like yourselves. I mean, it's probably one of the most fun industries to be in, but it's also a very hard industry to be in. So I'm genuinely curious to know what it is you fancy making. Okay. By the way, if you enjoyed the TIE Fighter tutorial, give me a shout or drop into my Discord, okay? Which you'll find on, I think, thewiki.com, and or solodev.com or 3dpalace.com or all of these websites. And I'll send you over the link for the night set, because that was the last one I ever did, the last 3ds Max set I ever did. And after that, I was like, well, that'll probably be it for me, for 3ds Max sets. But I think you'll probably enjoy it. It's a fun set. Actually, the Imperial Knight isn't the last one. Sorry, it was the Chinese robot. Gypsy Widow was the last one I did, because I got a request from China to do a big robot. But I did that, and it was okay at the time. I enjoyed it. Didn't make me a lot of money, but then again, nothing in 3ds Max ever made me a lot of money. I occasionally got some free meals, and that was about it, really. Go figure. There we go. Over onto there. I'm just going to drag these together to make a cohesive floor. Trying to get rid of that gap. A bit more. And yes, some people use exact measurements. I am not some people. You would know if you've seen my previous tutorials, like the other chap has. You know, there's a gap still. Don't want that. Now, you can bodge things. That's a very British phrase, bodging. What that means is that basically you hide the mistakes using other things. But truth be told, I prefer to do it slightly more properly if I can. There we go. Right, now this needs to be adjusted. Should be a point in there. Yep, there is. So there we go. Just move that to about there. You think about blueprints, we can do that. Makes our lives so much easier. Just that a little bit more so we get a kind of a space between it, and that way it looks like it's just been built that way. Now, this black part here, I'm going to need to draw that out. I'll do that in a minute. First things first, eh? So, I need some underneaths for this. So, I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm just going to drag it up. And on my other content browser, I'm just going to replace it with this. I'm going to replace it with that because then I can use it as my foundation. See, everything's for a reason. Now, if you're wondering about these kind of things, I actually used to live in a flint-built house, and it was actually quite a lot of fun to live in that house. I still remember it very fondly. Right. Actually, that's a very, very good question. What the answer would probably surprise you. It surprised me a little bit, I suppose. That was 2004. That was first built. Okay, that was the first iteration of the Dreadnought that I built, the 3D Palace. And the purpose of that was I actually went to a meeting at Games Workshop headquarters because they had never done any 3D stuff before. This was when they were still just models. They didn't have the TV shows, the animations, or anything like that. And the purpose of it being built was to really demonstrate to them what CG can do with the Games Workshop brand. Now, initially, we had some thoughts about it. The people at Games Workshop did, and obviously I did and stuff. And the plan was initially going to be, well, why don't we use this as a way of teaching people 3D, but also teaching them about the Warhammer 40,000 universe. And the Warhammer guys were like, yeah, that's a really good idea, we like that. But I think they realized it was more complicated than that. 3D was definitely going through a fashion phase at the time. I mean, everyone was like jumping on board that in the same way that everyone's kind of jumping on board game dev now, which isn't a bad thing. But I think Games Workshop could kind of see the writing on the wall there. They were going to be supporting something that, in the end, a lot of people would probably lose interest in fairly rapidly. But it was fun. We got to go down there. We got to talk about 3D. They loved that Dreadnought. Absolutely adored it. And after I talked to them, they were like, well, what other things could this be used for? And I was like, well, video games or in-store displays or things like that, just where you want to, just big Dreadnoughts. And after that, they got quite into the whole kind of using 3D thing, which was really cool. So now, obviously, you've got Relic and Obsidian and all the other guys who are making stuff inside of game engines and using 3D to make all sorts of cool stuff. A lot of my tutorials, I mean, I trained a few of the guys. I'm not gonna, beat my own horn on this one because I don't like doing that. But I mean, I did teach quite a few people for them, like, this is how you do it. This is how you do the rigging. This is how you do all the fun stuff. Because I mean, my view is, and it still is, it should be fun. Otherwise, what the hell's the point in doing it? So there we go. So yeah, that's that was the reason that the Dreadnought actually came into existence, was this project. And it was also, if you ever watched the Dreadnought 1, which is the very first video I did about making the Dreadnought, because there's 3 parts in the end, or 3 actual tutorials in the end. The first one was very much a simplified set, showing how you could rig without rigging just by using kind of constraint systems, and how you could do all sorts of things like that. And it was well received. I mean, that set, I didn't expect it to take off as well as it did, and people really liked it. And I think that was kind of one of the most, I don't know, rewarding parts of doing it, was that even though it had just been built for this kind of side project for the people at Games Workshop themselves, that eventually we didn't go ahead with, a lot of people still loved it. And, obviously that made me happy, because when you're an artist, I think the thing you want more than anything is people just to look at your art, and that's exactly what was happening. There we go. Yeah, I'm so much more happy that I used this system to build this, rather than the one that I was using. The other one just wasn't working, in my opinion. Okay, now I'm going to drag these down. The whole point is that it should look monstrous and confusing, and that's what I want. I mean, there were some other instances of that as well. A lot of what I was doing at the time, I mean, if you look at the copyright notices on 3D palettes like DVDs and stuff, there was a lot of calling friends and asking permission to be able to use copyrights for things, and them saying, just don't bandy it about too much, which is how we use the APU and how we use like loads of other stuff like that. Games Workshop was quite happy. I am, without, and I would say without a doubt, one of the top 10 mechanical artists. There you go. I'm not even going to add anything to that. It's just, it's a very specialist thing. Do you want to see one of my pieces? I'll see if I can find a render of one of my old pieces somewhere if you want. Which I have put in Unreal Engine, obviously. Hang on a second. I don't know if I've got any backups of these things or not, because it's been so long. Yeah, it might be small art here. Again, there might not. But I am, they say, I am very, very good at making robots. In fact, hang on a second. I know what to do. You'll enjoy that. It's a good one. Oh god, yeah, there's so much fun though. You should make it if you don't get a chance. I think you'd really enjoy it. Right, I'm just seeing if I can find that bloody robot of mine, but I can't. Mighty. Here's one. Here we are. This is the kind of stuff I do, and what I really enjoy doing as well. See that? That's rigged. That leg has 900 moving parts. Good times. You can see these are all like the constraints, all the highlighted parts here. Those are all constraints and things that allow the pistons to face in the right direction when the rig moves. You can see here, these are the mechanical parts. I had great fun making this one. There we go. Just, there it is. So the hips, they've got cushioning and shock absorbers in them, so the hips go up and down. The head moves, the steam pipes vent steam, stamp, 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 etc., etc. This was literally my favourite tutorial to make, even though the torso was an absolute nightmare. But I just don't have 9 months to do the development like I used to, so I don't do it anymore. To be honest, that night tutorial there made me less money in a whole year than, you know, teaching people does in 2 hours. So unfortunately, that's just the way it is. There's just no... I mean, obviously, the market's never been set up anyway for free education, but you know what I mean. It's aggravating, but there you go. Right, now, I want to put ceilings on this, because if I put ceilings on, I can cheat. I imagine you're kind of, what do you mean cheat? Well, in 3D, as you'd know, cheating is a very reliable way of getting the job done better. Thank you, I'm glad you like it. There could be a video of it somewhere, but I'm not sure where. It's been a long time, to be honest, since I got the night out, so, you know. Right. Okay, I'm going to have to check and make sure I can actually walk through this, which is a little bit concerning to me. Let's have a look at the actors. I want to make sure we can get into and out of this. So this is 1, let's make it 1.8. As long as a 1.8 block can kind of get in here. No, I'll just have to expand the size of this doorway a bit. I'll live though. Right. Hold a sec, I might have an animation of it actually. Oh, there you go. Never mind. It's on YouTube, I forgot. It's on my YouTube channel. All 55 parts. So that's a help, isn't it? You know, you can just look for the Warhammer 40k Imperial Knight on my YouTube channel. If you can't find it, I'll post up the link. Help yourself. I'm afraid the model isn't included with that one, but, you know, if you ask me nicely, I can send you it. It's bloody enormous. Right, let's get this roof over. Oh, look at what I've done. I've got the, what do you call it? The, pivot wrong on this. Never mind. We will live. We will survive. Gloria Gaynor was so kind to let us know. What I need to do, put that there. To be honest, it's just nice having people back in my stream, because one of the most frustrating things for me is that I don't get a lot of people come through and kind of join me on here. Yeah, I can see it. It's sticking through. Don't worry, I'll fix that in a minute. That. Nope, wrong one. That one. And that. This. a lot of it is just trying to keep a steady hand. There we go. Much better. That's the noise my dog makes. What's that? Roof. Oh. Let's duplicate this down there. Duplicate. And over the top. Now you see these Z fights. Don't want Z fights. So I'm going to move this. And at the top here, we've got this space now. So what I'm going to have to do is just, there we go, put that like that. Next. Let's roof over this one as well. So I'm going to thin this down. It doesn't need to be this thick, to be perfectly honest with you. And then let's get a couple of copies of this. Okay. Now we can see here that this is wanting to intersect with this. So if I let it, that may cause me some issue. So let's see what happens. Because if not, I'll have to build a special piece to go over it. I prefer not to. I'll probably do that. To be perfectly honest with you, code blueprints aren't hard. The whole point of a code blueprint, from Unreal Engine and Epic Games perspective, is that it's a way of visually representing what it is you want to do. So the best way to think about it is kind of think about it in a logical way. So for example, I want to open a door. What are the different steps to opening a door? Well, 1, I've got to be in front of the door. 2, I've got to interact with the door. 3, the door opens. 4, I walk through the door. Now, you may think, well, that's a very rough simplification of the process. But think about it this way, okay? Hang on a second, I'll just quickly reduce that. There we go. I mean, in a blueprint, if I just quickly go to my blueprints, make an empty one here. There we go. So I'll just create a quick blank new blueprint. I'll stick in here as VP Temp. Because this is the hardest part. You're going to find you get a lot of artists on your team, but you're not going to find very many people that actually know how to make blueprints, okay? And to be honest, you should do it, simply because, I think I get the impression that you're one of the people wanting to drive the project, and so you don't want someone who's going to leave as soon as they learn how to do it. Now, let's look at some simple examples of blueprints, okay, and what I'm talking about with a door. So if I just add quickly a cube, just to represent the door. There we go. Okay, so there's our door there. I know it doesn't look like much of a door. And hey, I'm saving you 120 euros, because I'm not charging you. So here's the door, right? Now, what we need is some way for the door to identify that we're near it. Like I said, if you're up to the door, you can interact with it. So the most simple way of doing that would be to add something like a box collision. Here we go. So there we go. I'll stick a box collision on this. All right, move it up to here. And then just make it bigger so that when we're standing in front of the door, if we overlap this box just here, which I'll just quickly save, okay, the door knows we're overlapping with it. No, there aren't any beautiful girls here, okay? I'm not a beautiful girl. Thank you for the spam, though. I need to find out where that's coming from. It's probably YouTube. Won't be a second. Just heading to YouTube now. If it's not on YouTube, then it's somewhere else equally annoying. Right, pause that. Let's have a look at my chat. Got it. Here we are. Right. Port. Yeah, that one. Okay. And let's get rid of you, you fucking tosser. So remove and remove. Somehow he came in and made 3 copies. It only says 2 here, so go figure. Any others? Oh, no, never mind. It'll work. Okay, so back to this. So, let's hide this beautiful girls here thing. Otherwise, you'll not see what I'm doing. There we are. Okay, so all I need is a way for someone to, well, for the system to tell I'm overlapping this box first and I'm near the door, right? So the easiest thing to do is, let's just delete all of this. I'm just in my event graph, so this is what happens when the game's running, the event graph. So I'll get this OO, it's been called for some reason. So OO's our box collision. I'll rename it. We'll hit F2. Call box, okay? And what I want to do is, I want an overlap for my call box. So with it selected, I'm going to add on overlap. But scroll up, add on component begin overlap. Okay, and you'll see call boxes in there now. Now the next thing I need to do is I want this to basically tell me, well, is it me overlapping it? Because this is the important bit, okay? This is one of the hardest bits in blueprints, so bear in mind. But you know, if you shoot a gun towards the door doesn't turn its handle and open. If you throw a rock at it, it doesn't. It should be if you walk up to it, right? So what we do is we cast, and we cast to our player character. Now yours may not be called player character, it could be called first person character, it could be anything. But this is your main character, your character blueprint, right? And we connect other blueprint to object. So now this is only going to work if our player character overlaps. And then over here, once we've overlapped with it, this is where we can put our code. So for example, get my cube here, set rotation, so here we are, set relative rotation to what it is now, 90 degrees, connect that together. And I mean, this is the most basic blueprint, but that's the fundamental basis of all blueprints. Okay, so on component overlap, this is your event. Cast to the player character to see if it's you overlapping it. If it is, turn this cube 90 degrees on its pivot point. And that's all there is to it to make your first foray into the scary world of blueprint. What I'd say is, don't be scared of blueprints, okay? They seem terrifying, but they're not, I promise you. You'll enjoy blueprints, trust me on this. Okay, now over here, let's have a look at this. So I want to go into, well, I don't have modeling tools on here really. I could go into brush editing, I suppose, but it's not really the same. Decisions. I think I'll just duplicate it. Yeah, solid, I'll duplicate it. So let's get both these. Pull them straight across to the middle, like that. I want it exactly at the middle, or I'm going to get weird errors. And then we should get this kind of crossover shape. But if I go to lit, now check around, and yep, that is fine. Okay, that's good, and that's good. Now then, these are broken normal map. So let's go into its roof here. And here's my parent. Have a look and see what I did to my normal map here. Yeah, I thought so. Let's get rid of you. See if that fixes things at all. It's been waiting. No, it did. Oh no, it did. Great. So it was the normal map. I had a feeling it might have been causing those issues. So I'm glad that I finally sorted that out. I don't really need the normal map because it's not like people are going to be on top of these anyway. I'll put additional detail on using geometry. Okay, let's have a look inside. I haven't got lumen turned on because lumen will slow things down considerably, so that's fine. Okay, next. No door in here, which is a bit problematic. I'm going to have to put a door in. I do need windows as well, which I appear to not have at the moment. Windows. Where can I find some windows? Here they are. What I like about these is these windows are chunky AF. Nah, blueprints are fun. The capture card's pretty cool. The only problem I've got with it is that I need a laptop really to make it work. I can't just run a capture card directly off this, otherwise it's literally what's the point. So I'm going to, my son's got a spare laptop upstairs. I'm going to nick that, I think. And like I say, you know, don't be afraid to leave 3ds Max behind for a bit and try something new. Because I did, and I have zero regrets about doing that. Like, zero. I felt for a long time that was being kind of fucked over by 3ds Max, to be fair, so I am particularly glad that I'm not using it anymore. It is pretty dark. That is because I don't have global illumination turned on at the minute to save me some render cycles. I don't want this to be slow, you see. See that? Not quite torn off, is it? Okay, let's fix them both simultaneously. 1, 2. Let's get right into here. And thin them a bit. Not you. Get over there. The thing is, as well, don't be fooled, you don't need blueprints to actually make anything work inside of Unreal Engine. You can literally just drop in models and use a couple of pre-built, like, you know, character tools and just do it that way if that's what you want. There is no right way or wrong way, really. If it doesn't work, it just won't compile. It's literally all there is to it. Over here. Ay. Once I'm done with this, I'll have a quick walkthrough and make sure it's okay, because tomorrow I'll have to furnish it. I'm very pleased that I've got this far with this, because someone's been bugging me now for about 4 weeks. And anyone who knows me knows how much I hate. Thanks, though. I'll stick on some global illumination so you can see it a bit better once I'm done, so don't worry. I'm going to have to be able to walk around it soon anyway, so... I like this, because this is quite a grimy glass. I would especially want a nice glass for this one. You. Yeah. I'm going to make sure that this is balanced, you see. See there? It's not. Got to bring that across as well. Nice. Okay, let's go over here. This ain't going to win any safety awards because there's only one door. That's okay. Thank you. I wanted something cozier looking than what I had, because that one before was just made out of prefabricated assets. And so this is obviously more pleasing for me. It certainly looks like, you know, it should, which is what I want. Let's see, I'll probably put a stone yard down. There we go. Nice. Okay, let's put the lip back on. Okay, and I'm going to just save, because there's a lot of unsaved stuff here. Yeah, I made everything myself too. That's the whole fun of it. That is the whole point of doing things. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, I bought some other things. Hey, Birdie, how's it going, man? Yeah, no lag. I'm using 5.1, but I'm not using, what do you call it, SM6, because SM6 breaks it, okay? So just a little top tip for you, if you upgrade to SM6, you're going to have a lot of problems. So, let's play the Model 5 for me at the minute. How you doing, Bert? Going to turn on Lumen temporarily. Actually, a good way of turning on lumen temporarily, now I think about it, would be to drag a post-processing. So, post-process volume, here we go. Yeah, it's so nice not having fucking laggy as shit. I was going insane. By the way, if you don't like swearing, you're probably out of luck. I had to leave the official Discord for Unreal Engine because apparently I swore. Like, fuck you, you wankers. Doing 3D since before you guys grew penises, for fuck's sake. Anyway, let's go down here. Sorry, angry old man. Look at that. Isn't that light nice? Let's turn on the lumen. Okay. Don't want to adjust too much of this. Look at that. That's crazy. Love it. Lumen reflections. Oh, 3D modeling definitely keeps my mind at peace as well. And AutoCAD's horrible. All right. Good luck. Okay. If you need a reference, Bert, just you know, tell me and give me the relevant email addresses, okay? And I'll be more than happy to help any way I can. As you know, I think I'll just leave the post-process off, actually. Let's just put a light in here and see how it looks. You're talented, Bert. I'm sure they'll see that. I told you myself, as soon as I've got the money, I'll hire you myself. So, you know, it's not a problem. I just don't have the cash at the moment. Okay, that's not bad, is it? I like that. Okay. That works for me. It is a bit like Archviz, yeah. It just works really well. Oh, cheers, man. That, funnily enough, is an adaptation of an asset that was free on the Unreal Engine marketplace about 2.5 years ago or something. And I saw it and I'm like, oh, what use can I possibly have for that? And then I realised I'm going to use it all the bloody time. So I added a few extra marks to it where I needed them. Make it look a bit more worn and torn, you know? It's just nice being able to actually do some goddamn game dev now that I've got the system re-optimised again. Because I spent last week and the week before and the week before that basically shrieking at Unreal Engine because it wasn't working properly. Sorry, where did I model what? I missed out on that. Where did I model the actual walls and shit? Oh, I've built them in 3ds Max. One of the benefits of, you know, still being a 3D artist is that I can do that. So that's exactly what I did. I'm just going to fix this foliage because it's bugging me. I don't like being bugged by it. Most of my modeling I'll do in 3ds Max because, you know, I've been using it for 22, 23 years. Oh, I haven't left it behind. I very rarely use it now. I mean, I've got it just in case I need it when I'm teaching. But these I made 4 years ago. They're not new. I just got to remember I've got 22 plus years of like models that I've made. So I've got an awful large back catalogue I can just pull up when I need it. Landscape. Let's see if this crashes it. I'm genuinely curious. Paint. Right, let's prepare the shoulders. If you need a 3ds Max teacher, I'll teach you 3ds Max. Okay, Bert? It's not really a problem. Although you do know that I've got about 4,500 hours of like free 3ds Max training if you need it. I taught at Autodesk University a couple of times. That was good fun. Got pissed off because they never gave me a Max Master jacket. My friend got one. It turned out it was really thin and cheap though. Yeah, no worries. I'll send you the links over on Dropbox if you want in the channel. Just remind me when I'm done. Remember, I'm a hard surface person though, so you're going to get hard surface stuff. I did quite a few tutorials actually on UDK as well, but that was back in the day. I was supposed to be teaching earlier today, but unfortunately my arm was too sore. But what is up, Bert? Oh, the On Skyrim team. How's that going? Oh, Jesus, they're working in UDK. Holy shit. Didn't think anyone still used it, really. It's crazy. It's pretty funny, though. Right, here we are. Make sure this is right. Ground 1 layer info. Right, if this crashes, I'll be very sad and will cry and probably poop. Oh, of course. I keep forgetting that it is like that old, isn't it? Jesus. You know, it's funny because one of my friends who lives locally to me was working on GTA 6. But he finished working with them on GTA 6 5.5 years ago. So he was working with them 5.5 years ago on stuff for GTA 6. And it's like, you've seen preview images and it's like, wow, that's really cool and stuff. Oh, the time here is 47 minutes past 7. God, still preparing shaders. Yeah, so he was like, wow. Yeah, I can well believe it. UDK's, I like UDK. I used to love it a lot, actually, because, again, like, C++ kind of passed me by, probably because I'm a bit dyslexic. But I could do stuff in that without, like... Right, let's draw some grass back in. Couldn't need it for this to work. Don't want puddles everywhere, that'll look weird. And then I've got to go inside and make sure there's no grass coming through the floor. That's really important. So let's look over here. Yep, there's the grass coming through the floor. We don't want that. So I'll go up to ground 9, which is basically my null grass. Oh god, yeah. The grass system, I don't know if you remember the grass system in it, but the grass in it was amazing. Really, really good. I used to love, like, UDK's foliage mode. It blew my mind. Right, just gonna get rid of this shit here. Increase the size of my brush a bit. It always gives you, like, floor foliage otherwise, and then you'll cry and you'll be sad. There's some. I'm gonna get rid of them too. What I'll do is I'll draw the foliage in manually in these parts where I need it. But I certainly don't need it here in a minute. Right, let's have a look at you. See, there's some. I'm going to try. It depends, but I will try. It cost me so much money to go last year. I mean, it was staggeringly expensive for me to go. It was, I think in the end I paid, for doing that 1 hour talk, you know, I didn't get paid. I paid about £1,500. So, yeah, you should do a talk, but it'd be interesting, I'm sure. And like I say, I'm just going to be careful. I mean, obviously, you know, hopefully if the wikis came out and everything's going to plan, then great, you know, I'll definitely go. But it just depends on, you know, if things are going to plan, as they hopefully will be. Because I'll need the money. That's pretty cool. I like that. Let's put some more in. Nice. Much better. Love those. You should definitely do a talk. Oh, it's PM, by the way, for time here. It's 7 in the evening. I've been up for several hours. I'm going to go out tomorrow because Amanda's got a checkup in a nearby city. So I'm going to take her over to that. I'm starting to wonder if this isn't foliage. If this isn't the foliage I think it is. Sure it is, though. Okay, never mind. This will work fine for what I would need. Now, let me have a quick look at this. At this edge here, because if you look, there's trace underneath's going on, which I don't want. Okay, let's save. So what would you like to do a talk on, do you think, Bert? There's some more. Always one in there. Yeah, please do, man. Please do. If I do go, you know, and you need like a lab assistant or whatever, just hit me up. That should do it. I can put a fence around that now, and that'll work fine. Okay, let's see what it looks like. This is going to go slow, okay, when I do this next bit. So do bear with. Even without GI on and shit, it's still going to be a little bit slow. But I want to see what it looks like. So right click, play from here. That's a really good idea. I agree, because there's a lot of things that people tend to get wrong because they think they've got to do it in a studio way, or they think they've got to do it in a set way. And I've always said the best way to do things is the way that works for you, you know? Nothing wrong with just coming up with your own workflow if it works. I mean, Bay Rate did that when he came up with the edge looping workflow, when he made Gollum. You've got people like Meets Myers, who's working with AI and stuff. You know, you're just going to think outside the box and not be afraid to make mistakes. I think that's really important. Tank modeling. If you go onto my YouTube channel, look at the YouTube video for Feet, or I'm not sure which one of it is. It's not the Crux, it could be Ultimax. That one's basically a tank. I used like a large tank as its foot, more or less. By the way, it's gonna go slow for a minute because it's trying to switch over into game mode. Okay, so bear with. Because what it's got to do now is it's got to load all the shaders and all the other stuff and put lighting on it. So it'll take about 2 minutes. I had my beard trimmed the other day. Didn't come out bad. I kind of trimmed it down to just a goatee, and didn't go well. That was when we went to Germany, obviously, for DevCon, so it's taken 5 months to grow my beard back out again. 5 months now. Unload. God's sakes. Oh, thanks Tommy Sissons, by the way. Thank you for liking. I love you. And you Different Way Games, and you Night Shift Games, and you Bumblebat Studio. Bumblebat Studio is by far one of the coolest names I've heard of for a studio. I don't know. I want to see how this is going. I want to put some doors on it, and I want to check I can get through this doorway. Otherwise I'm going to have to remodel the doorway, because this doorway was modelled for an old character I was using 3 years ago. And there we go. Still waiting on shaders. Oh, if you want to see what the lighthouse and the lighthouse building looks like, it's going to be a little bit slow, but there you go. We'll live. There's the deer running around over there. There's the lighthouse keeper's house. I've taken the water out of there, which is why there isn't any. I need to change my streaming length, because if you look, I'm getting some pop-up over there still. So what I'll probably do is just change the length of streaming, or I'll add more fog. That's not really an issue. Yeah, that looks okay, doesn't it? And I mean, I know that this is only pulling about 20 frames per second for me at the minute, but to be fair, I am streaming, and I am doing a few other things at the same time as well. So I've got Discord open, 4 screens, this. Tell you what, 5.1's performance increase though was totally worth it. Nice. Okay, let's see if I can get inside this house while the deer run around and do stupid deer things. I hope I can. I'm gonna have to duck a bit. I think what I'll do is I'll just change the collision mesh a bit. Am I still crawling? Not bad, is it? Love the shadows. That's a very good idea, actually. Hey, Bert, could you do you know if there's a good reference on doing that, like a YouTube one or something like that? Because I think that'd be useful. Will that actually occlude as well? That's a really good question. Thanks, Bert. I'm glad you suggested that. If you can find me a piece of information on that, I'd find that really helpful. You can like send it in a message in Discord if you want or whatever. Okay, so we can get in there, but it's not quite high enough. There's a couple of ways we can do this. I'm going to do the worst possible way to do this. So if you're ready for something truly appalling, it's going to make you want to cry. Or I go to the toilet. I need to make number twos. I've already gone over this, mate, okay? I promise you, as soon as I have the spare money, I will hire you. Snakes, fucking Belgians, man. Don't get me wrong, Belgians are awesome. It'll be 2 seconds, I just need to nip away to the loo, so I'm going to pause. Right. Where was I? That one. Oh god. Slightly sore bot. That's probably too much information though, isn't it? Right, now, one thing I do want to do over here is, this is supposed to be the old lighthouse, Keeper's Cottage. So let's find the lighthouse. There's so many crazy old things in here that I used to use and don't use anymore. It's amazing. I don't need a cleat. The lighthouse itself. Questions. Cool. Coming soon. That one. Well, pardon me, I keep burping, I do apologise. Observatory. What the hell is it? Well, that my cat's really smells now. You know. These are the new ones. Why? Yeesh, what I've made now. So many things in that time. So many weird old things here. That's gonna be it. Oh my god, I didn't do what I planned on doing over here. I was going to select everything, wasn't I? Immediately got distracted. No worries, man. Sleep well. Hopefully you'll come on back, and we can hang out and tell stories of the old days. Door. Nice door. A little bit too secure there. Nice door then. Probably this one. Well, it's okay apart from the obvious issue. See you next time, man. Take it easy. See you later. Have a good time. Right, that'll do me. 2 hours of streaming is probably enough. And now it's time for me to stop.